Hey guys, welcome to another Overwatch League discussion video. Today we're going to be talking about the Grand Finals because it's all over now. Your London Spitfire are the world champs. They are the champions of the very first season of the Overwatch League. So first off, I have to start the video up by congratulating them. Congrats to London. This is very much deserved. You guys really got hot at the perfect time and there was just no stopping you after that. It's clear to me that all of the players and the coaching staff stepped up at the perfect time. They were really able to figure things out, especially when they were in a dire situation, down 1-0 to the LA Gladiators, and they lost in that first match in just dominant fashion. But then they come out and win 6 straight maps against the Gladiators, and then they're able to basically dominate the Valiant in pretty much the same way as the Valiant were only able to win 1 map against them through 2 matches, and then there was also 1 tie. And the Fusion, through 2 matches, only were able to take 1 map off of them as well, which is just insane. To see a team dominate that much in the Overwatch League just shows that, for one, the meta is perfect for them, but 2, their players are the best in the world. What a road the Spitfire had to take to get here, though. They had many highs and lows throughout the year. They started off by being the Stage 1 champions. They got a reverse sweep against the New York Excel. And then in Stage 2, they lost to Philly Fusion in the Stage playoffs. And then Stage 3 and 4, they played pretty poorly. But then here they are in the playoffs now. They're Grand Finals champions. They're the champions of all of the Overwatch League. They are the kings. They sit at the very top of the throne. So I guess I'll quickly dive into all of the maps that the Fusion and the Spitfire played on yesterday. I'm going to probably not dive into much detail at all because there's not much to talk about. The Fusion got destroyed, especially through the first 2 maps. So let's first go on and talk about Junkertown, I guess, because that was the first map, the escort map that they played. And this map did not look close at all. Like, I don't know what happened, man. The Fusion, it looked like they were starting to figure things out on that map. They beat the NYXL on it. They looked a little bit better, but then they faced the Spitfire, and that just goes right down the toilet. Like, the Fusion had an okay attack. They were able to get the payload all the way to, like, halfway through point C, but the Spitfire just rolled them, and Profit, our MVP of the Grand Finals, just dominated. Like, oh my god, this guy took over on the Hanzo. You guys remember that 5K he got with the Dragon Strike, like, completely insane. This guy went nuts in both matches in the Grand Finals. MVP was just totally deserved by this man. He wasn't just player of the match in both matches, in my opinion, but he's just the overall MVP of the squad. He made clutch play after clutch play. He was outperforming Carpe and EQO all by himself. Like, Birdring didn't play bad or anything, but they sure as hell needed Profit to pop off this much if they wanted to take over, because Carpe and EQO are talented and they struggled. I'll be honest, they struggled on Junkertown and they struggled on every map, really. Like, Carpe was taking forever to wake up, it felt like. He only played well, in my opinion, on King's Row, but it's not entirely his fault, because I think the Spitfire did a fantastic job of pressuring him, especially with guys like Jester and Fury, just always being up in his face, never giving him any angles for him to pop those heads. Like, they did a great job. And EQO, he's not nearly as good as someone like Carpe or Profit or Birdring, so of course he's not going to play that well either, and I think we saw that for the most part. So yeah, now I think if you're a Fusion fan, you're really starting to get worried. The Spitfire are basically just picking up where they left off yesterday, and then when we move on over to Lijiang Tower, this wasn't close yet again. Like, I don't know what happened. The Fusion just couldn't figure things out. Carpe couldn't really wake up on the Widow or anything. They were just having a really tough time dealing with the Spitfire. And Lijiang Tower is one of their worst maps, statistically, but we've seen the same thing happen with Oasis. But the Spitfire have looked unbelievably strong on Oasis, and just in control maps in general. I think they really figured out how to dominate on those maps ever since the beginning of the whole playoffs. So now the Fusion are in a situation where they're down 2-0. Their backs are completely up against the wall at this point. Things are not looking good at all, and that's just being nice about it. They're just about done for. They're screwed, but they really fought hard on King's Row. They did. They tried their best, but it was clear that Spitfire was just the superior team, especially when they're shutting down Carpe the entire time, and he can't help carry his team at all. Like, someone else had to step up, and I think that guy that did try and step up was Poco. I thought Poco played very well throughout the entire Grand Finals. Like, I think he was one of the only bright spots of the Philly Fusion. He was getting some crazy diva bombs throughout the entirety of this series. Like, it was wonderful to watch. I love Poco. He's such a great D.Va player. But anyway, so the Fusion, even though it was in overtime, they were able to clutch it out and finish up the map. But then when the Spitfire go on attack, they complete the map even faster than they do, which means they don't just have that minute on the time bank, but now the Fusion don't get another attack since they finished the map in overtime, and the Spitfire basically just rolled over them to get that first tick quite easily. Like, it was super fast too. It was kind of pathetic. It was very clear to me by the end of this grand finals that the Fusion just couldn't compare to someone like the Spitfire. The Spitfire are the best team in the league for a reason. I think if the NYXL were here, they'd probably beat them too. I don't think it would have been any different. No matter what team it was, I think the Spitfire would have dominated in this grand finals. They were just red hot. I don't know what happened to those guys after that first loss against the Gladiators, but they transformed into this beast that just cannot be stopped. I have to give props where it is deserved, though. Good job, Fusion, for at least making it to the grand finals. Like, that was very unexpected in itself. I thought for sure they'd lose to the NYXL or to someone else eventually in the playoffs, but they made it to the grand finals, which means they're still going to get a good amount of money. They're not going to get the $1 million or anything, but they're still going to get some money for getting in second place. So that's good to see, right? At least they're not complete losers in this situation. But I am pretty disappointed in them, though, for not being able to make this at least a little bit more competitive. I don't blame them for getting bodied because the Spitfire, like I've been saying, they're just unstoppable right now. They look untouchable. But I wanted the grand finals to at least go the distance. I wanted to see like one decisive map 5 come into play. That would have been nice, but in the end, we kind of just get this dominance where the Spitfire wins 6 maps to 1. Like, it just wasn't even close. It's kind of sad, though, because I think the Fusion did a good job of fixing some of the mistakes they were making from the first match. Like, for one, I think Neptuno died less. It probably wasn't that much less than the first match, but he definitely did do a better job of staying alive, in my opinion. But also, I think they were doing a better job of switching off of comms when they weren't working, because that was something they were really suffering from in that first match. They just weren't switching off of things, even though it was clear that they needed to switch. But one problem they weren't able to fix was Carpe popping off. Because as we all know, the Fusion would not be a playoff team if it weren't for Carpe. Like, this team would be nowhere. They'd be like bottom of the pack, maybe middle of the pack if they're lucky. They'd be a trash team without Carpe. Like, he is the heart and soul of this team. He's the hard carry. The Fusion have even admitted that this guy carries them a lot. So, yeah, he needed to pop off a lot more if he wanted the Fusion to stand any sort of chance, but he couldn't. He wasn't really able to make any clutch plays until that last map on King's Road. At that point, it was just too late. It was just too much of a lead to have to overcome, I think. I honestly really do feel bad for Carpe, though. The one time he isn't able to take over a game, his team gets just rolled and completely dismantled like they're nothing. He's not asking for much. He's just asking for help once. That's it. Just help him out a little bit. Someone else dominates, and then maybe the tanks focus him a little bit less and they focus someone else a little bit more. Like, that's all he needs. He just needs a little bit of space to start doing some work. Like, I know Carpe definitely did struggle. It's not entirely all because of the London tanks. He wasn't always hitting the big shots we're used to him hitting, but still, he needs a little bit of help once in a while. He can't always carry his team all the time. It's just not possible, especially when you're facing a superstar loaded roster like the Spitfire. If EQO and Poco could have just made a couple more clutch plays, that could have been the factor that helped Carpe start to pop off a little more. Had the tanks start to realize that they need to help out a little bit more with the front lines instead of just always going after Carpe. But it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. I'm sorry, Carpe. Your team let you down. That's all I really have to say about the grand finals, because there really isn't that much to talk about. The Fusion weren't able to make this much of a series, as they were only able to take one map, and most of the maps the Spitfire won, they dominated on. There weren't that many close maps, so yeah, that's just about going to wrap up my talk for the grand finals, but I'm not quite done yet. I do want to congratulate the Spitfire one more time and Prophet for being an absolute god. He was legendary in the series. I've never seen a player be so clutch in my life. Like, he hard carried. He was looking like Carpe and just, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words because of how amazing Prophet played. Like, I am so impressed with how he was able to step up this much. The dude literally dominated on every hero that he played on. He was playing well on Pharah, which isn't something he's known for. He plays well on the Genji like always. His Hanzo was absolutely insane. He was looking like the best Hanzo in Overwatch League. His Brigitte has always been top tier. You might even argue that he's the best one in the league as well right now. Also, a big thank you to Overwatch League. Overwatch League has been so entertaining over these last 7 months or so, ever since it started up. So thank you to everyone that was able to make it possible. All of the team owners, all of the teams in general, all of the players for being so amazing to watch. I love all of you guys so much. Overwatch League was a big success in my book, and I cannot wait for Season 2. And don't worry to any of you subscribers that watch all of my Overwatch League content. I'm not done here just because playoffs are done. The All-Star weekend thing is going to be happening very soon. Also, I do plan on covering all the free agent stuff, and maybe I'll talk a little bit about Overwatch League expansion teams as well. I also have some other things planned that'll be in the works as well, so look out for all of that. We have plenty of Overwatch League content to talk about up until Overwatch League Season 2 starts. And I think I'm just about ready to get out of here, guys. So, if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. I'd very much appreciate it, as it tells me you want to see more Overwatch League content here on the channel. Also, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button and enable notifications so you don't miss a single upload when they come out. Thank you all so much for watching, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Peace.